Got another bonus episode, player prospect spotlight interview. We got North Carolina State cornerback Shyheim Battle joining us on the show. We're going to talk about his playlist, pregame. We're talk about why he loves the game of football and what set him up for success. We're going to talk about everything, all of this and more coming up next.
You are Locked On NFL Draft, your daily podcast covering the NFL Draft. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Locked On family? Welcome back to the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast, your daily podcast covering your favorite draft prospects, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your boy, Damian Parson, always on the ones and twos. You can find and follow me on X at DP_NFL. I'm a national scout and a senior draft analyst. And thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day. Shout out for being our everydays. And you know, I got to kick this intro to my guy, Mr. LSU himself, Keith Sanchez. You can find and follow him on X at The Talent Code. Keep talking to him, baby.
What's up, Locked On family? Let's get locked in. This is Keith Sanchez, 2019 national champ with those LSU Bengal Tigers, man, here to bring you championship level content surrounding the NFL draft 24/7, 365. Listen, we are your favorite dynamic duo for everything NFL draft. And DP, today, what do we have, man? We have a prospect interview. Yes, we have North Carolina State shutdown cornerback, Mr. Physicality himself, man, Shyheim Battle. We're going to have a fun conversation with him, man. And we wanted to do this, and we say we're going to do this, right? So that way everybody can get to know personalities of these prospects, right? You want to know why guys are successful in the NFL? It's because of things like this. It's because who they are, their mental makeup, their instincts. So DP, let's get into this interview with cornerback Shyheim Battle. To get this thing started, man, I always like to start at the foundation, right? And the foundation is, you know, your childhood, growing up, right? The process to getting to the NFL combine. So can we start off just, man, your background playing a wide receiver and playing basketball, and then just how did that help you to be able to play corner, you know, when it comes down to ball skills and being able to track the football?
It played a lot into it. You know, playing wide receiver was my original position, and I had a lot of fun with it. So it made me understand the route tree, you know, understand what routes I'm going to start getting, you know, down the distance-wise, and being comfortable catching the ball, you know. As a DB, after you get past the release, the first 5 yards, you pretty much are a receiver. So, you know, I kind of try to train myself to think that way. It took time at first, you know, going to play corner, because I've always wanted to be a wide receiver. I wanted the ball to come directly to me, but, you know, I got to understand that it's not coming to me. So, yeah, just, you know, tracking the ball, playing wide receiver and basketball as well. Like, I was more considered a power forward in my conference, in my school. But I had good feet, so my coach always had me guard the team's best player. So that transferred over a lot for me, you know, being able to shuffle laterally quickly. And, you know, it made me be a better defender overall.
Real quick, I want to jump in, man. I got to ask you a question. Who's your wide receiver comp, man? Who are you like as a wide receiver?
Who am I like?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know, man. I would say I was more of a Mike Evans probably type of guy. I want nothing crazy. I ain't gonna say I'm more like I wasn't doing all that. I just wanted to get open and get the ball in my hand. That's all.
Nah, that's what's up. You go ahead, DP. You can pick it up.
Nah, I love to hear that, man. For you playing in the ACC, you typically play against a lot of talented quarterbacks, right? You know, talented offenses, skill positions, man. How has that helped you, in your opinion, prepare you for the NFL?
It's helped me out a lot, man. I played against a lot of great quarterbacks, Sam Hartman, Sam Howell, even Drake May, man. Like, those guys are good quarterbacks, and, you know, they understand defense as well. And, like, some teams won't come at me, but every time I played against those guys, like, they always want to try me. And I think that just prepared me to understand that, you know, wherever you go, there's going to be a good team and a good quarterback that's going to trust his receivers. So they gave me opportunities to go out there and make plays. And, you know, don't get me wrong, like, Drake May is probably, you know, the best quarterback coming out in this draft. So, you know, it felt good to go against talented guys like that year after year. And it just helped me raise my game.
Nah, that's what's
real
up.
quick, Keith. I want to ask for you. You talk about facing a guy like Drake May and Sam Howell, all those guys. What was your approach, knowing you going into a game facing one of those like high octane type of quarterbacks, those guys that the NFL scouts and all the analysts are talking about getting ready for on Sundays?
To me, I look at it as an opportunity, because quarterbacks are high targeted guys and they're going to always bring in the attention. And for me, he got to get past me to get his stats up. So I looked at it as a chance for me to just go out there and just lock down the guy he wants to throw the ball to. And if I do that, then they got to look at me on tape now. So I look at it as an opportunity for me to just, up my stats as well, not only just him, because if I'm playing better than how he's performing, then that's going to, draw attention to me. So everything was always a good opportunity in my eyes.
Yeah, nah, that's what's up, man. Listen, DP talked about your approach to these high octane quarterbacks. I want to ask about your approach to playing cornerback, period, right? You're one of the most physical cornerbacks in this draft class, right? And you think about guys, those tall, long corners that's also physical, like your Sauce Gardners, right? Richard Sherman back in the past. How did you develop that mentality to be that physical on the outside, whether that's making tackles, in press coverage, right? Jamming up wide receivers. Where did that physical mentality come from?
The whole physical mentality, it came all the way back from really high school when I first started playing corner. So my coach told me that if I want to play on his defense, I got to learn how to stop ankle biting. So that was the first lesson to me. He said I got to learn how to stop ankle biting because I was literally taking the dude cleat off trying to grab his ankle. So he told me that I got to be more physical. So I was all real fragile, real skinny, scared to hit guys, but it took for me to just put my shoulder in there one good time, see how it felt. And ever since, man, I've been just trying to make that my strength of my game. You don't see a lot of physical corners that like to be aggressive in the run game and also, do things on the back end as far as covering as well. So I kind of look at it as my way of just having a competitive edge, being able to come down, show that aggression. And I mean, after a while, it just became fun. It became second nature, and I just started to love the contact. But I mean, I got to say, like, watching Jalen Ramsey was a big part of that too. Like, I see how he just come up and just effortless flip guys, and I'm like, how can I learn to do that? So, watching him bring that to his game as well made me motivate myself to just be another physical corner. You know what I'm saying?
No, I like that answer. You brought up Jalen Ramsey. That kind of segues right into what I was going to ask you. Now, outside of Jalen Ramsey, are there any other corners in the NFL that you just watch on Sundays and you just kind of pick different pieces of their game and try to add it to yours?
Oh yeah, man. Like Patrick Surtain is another guy I look up to. He's very tall, just like me. He got a quiet game. He don't talk much, but I feel like, in my opinion, he's a technician. Like, he got real good feet, in and out his breaks, and he don't get frustrated fast. Somebody catch a ball on him, and I kind of just see myself in him when I watch him play. Like, just looking back at how I look on tape, if I get beat or coming in and out of my breaks, I try to just see, like, okay, I feel like I play similar to Patrick Surtain in my eyes. Then, as far as Jalen Ramsey, I get all my physical traits from him as far as just trying to come down and boom somebody. That just catching somebody off their feet like that, man. It just, it feels different. The crowd get crazy, just adrenaline start rushing. So yeah, man, I feel like those are the two guys I would say I kind of idle my game out there the most. But when I first started getting into playing corner, I did like Patrick Peterson. That was the guy I first watched. I watched his film a lot, and he inspired me to, be number 7 and be, the guy I am now. So, I mean, I got to give credit to him, too. That's the OG.
Are you the kind of driver that likes to push things a little further? Ever wonder what adventure could be around the next corner? Our friends at Nissan have a lineup of SUVs with the capabilities to take your adventure to the next level. The 2024 Nissan Rogue is perfect for city drives and great escapes. Class exclusive Google built-in is your always updating assistant to call on for almost anything. The 2024 Rogue is the perfect mid-size crossover for your next adventure. The 2024 Nissan Pathfinder has room up to 8 and expansive cargo capacity and advanced available 4x4 capability with 284 horsepower and up to 6,000 pounds towing. When adventure calls, the Pathfinder is there to answer. So guys, take the Nissan Rogue, the Nissan Pathfinder, or the Nissan Armada and go find your next big adventure. Shop NissanUSA.com. Shop NissanUSA.com.
Yes, listen, man. I seen that smile on your face when you talked about the big hit and the crowd going crazy, right? So I have to ask you this question, and you don't have to ask most corners this question, but because you play so physical, I want to ask you this. What what do you get more excited for, right? The big hit, blowing up a wide receiver screen or something like that, or the interception? What makes you most excited?
I mean, personally, I got to say the big hit because I don't. A couple guys I have here, you hear ooh, like a ooh across the whole crowd. Like that's kind of nasty. You know what I'm saying? Got a pick that could be like scoring a touchdown. Everybody, be like,
Right.
but the picks do it look good on the stat list. But you turn that tape on and see somebody silence the crowd. That's different. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely will always take an interception any day of the week. But if I catch somebody on a good day, throw that shoulder in there. Hey, they gonna feel it. I say that.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I want to ask you this, man, real quick. We talked about Jalen Ramsey. We talked about other talent, Patrick Surtain, right? Some, cover three guys, some press man guys, the guys that are able to do it all. I want to ask you this, man, to simply scout yourself, right? What is your biggest strength? And then what is the biggest area of growth you want for yourself?
I would say my biggest strength to my game would be physicality for one, and also just my awareness on the field. Knowing the type of routes I'll be getting based on down and distance. I get credit to my coaches for like teaching me these things, but just having good field awareness. Game situational things, and my footwork is a big part of my game. Just I play light on my feet. I do a lot of drill work as far as working on my feet, so I like to use my feet first and foremost before anything else in my game, and it's helped me a lot. I would say my biggest area of growth would be just still ball drills, tracking the ball down, playing the eyes in the hands of the wide receiver. It's been times where I feel like I could have did better in that situation. So that's probably my biggest area of growth I want to keep continuing to grow on, and that could be just an easy pass breakup for a quick slant, or a down the field deep ball where my head gets around too late. You know what I'm saying? So just fine tuning those things. I feel like I want to do that going to the next level.
Shyheim, I wanted to add on to that to the question that Keith asked. For you, what I mean, going into the NFL, is there any specific scheme that you feel like, listen, I fit man to man the best, or I fit cover three or cover two, cover four best, or it doesn't matter? You're just that versatile in your skill set that you can fit and kind of be a chameleon and adapt to whatever defense drafts you.
Yeah, man, I feel like I can fit into any scheme. Back at my school at NC State, we ran a 3-3-5 and more of a match zone team. We didn't do a lot of press man, but we did a lot of off man. So it taught me how to play all the routes from off man. And then as later in the years, we also included some press man in there too. So I got to show my physicality as far as getting up on guys in their face and getting on good jam and all of that good stuff. But I feel like, NC State, they set me up to be versatile. We do a lot of different things, a lot of different change ups. But I would say, man, I'm ready for whatever comes at me. So I'll be ready. I feel like I'll be ready.
For sure, man. I always like to ask this for prospects coming out of, coming into the NFL draft about a teammate that's still at school for him. One of your young guys, Kevin Concepcion, man. Talk about that young receiver. That dude is dynamic, explosive. He makes plays all over the field, man. Kind of tell the people, I think he's got like 2 more years before he's ready for the draft. But just kind of talk him up a little bit, let people know what to expect from him going forward.
Hey man, he go by KC the Kid, man. KC the Kid. Hey, his name ringing bells since he stepped on campus, man. I would say that, man. He's a great baller, bro. Like I give him all the credit. Every time he make a play, humbly, hey, bro, great play. Because he get a lot of love, man. So sometimes you just gotta let him know, like, hey, bro, I know you doing your thing, man. I'm just gonna come to you person to person, bro. Like you don't gotta act like I'm a fan. 'Cause I am a fan at the end of the day, but I'm your teammate too. So, bro, I always give him his credits, man. He's a great player. Like as a freshman, doing things he's doing, like he's played running back, quarterback, killed in that receiver. Like I've really just sat and watched him at times, just shake a dude off, dude falling. I'm like, man, this is crazy. He playing against probably juniors and seniors out there. And he a freshman. So I'm like, man, hey, he putting fear in these guys' hearts. Shoot, in a couple years, man, they ain't gonna be able to touch him. So I get a lot of respect to him. I really do.
Man, listen. First, I gotta ask you, bro. Are you a gamer? And if so, are you more Madden or 2K? And thirdly, are you nice at either one of them?
All right. I would say I'm a 2K guy, but that's out of the two options. If we gonna say what I play the most, it's gonna be Call of Duty Warzone. That's what I really be going at, man.
I
I'm
got
a
to say, yeah,
Warzone guy.
I've never been a Call of Duty guy myself. Could never get into it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I stick with Madden and 2K, baby. I stay within the lanes. You know what I mean? Talk to us real quick about your pregame, like your pregame routine and playlist. What gets you going, and then how do you prepare for the game to make sure that you're locked in for kickoff?
Yeah, man. So I do it. I do it two different ways. I got a playlist I listen to the night before the game. That's kind of just feeding my mental, the right knowledge. I got some Drake up there, some J. Cole, a little bit of Rod Wave, just some people that I feel like really be touching me and helping me shape my mind and just be focused.
Mm-hmm.
And come the day of the game, man, it's all more loud music getting me hyped up for the game. So I got a little bit of Lil Wayne up there. I got some more J. Cole. I got some Migos, and G Herbo is like my top guard. Go to my top guy. Like I gotta hear G Herbo before the game. He just gonna turn me
I have to say this, Shyheim. I respect the playlist, man. I didn't know where you was gonna go with this, right? But I think that you can send me your playlist and I could rock with it too, man. You said some guys,
All
Lil Wayne, Drake, J. Cole. I am sold on your playlist, man. And listen, and if I was a player and still getting after it right now, that'll be my playlist too. So I definitely appreciate that. I want to wrap this conversation up real quick, man. I love getting on the personal side of things, man. I want to simply ask you, man, what is your why? And then who do you do it for, man? You're talking about getting up every single day to grind for practice. We were talking to you, right? You just finished workouts and everything. So I want to ask you, man, what is your who do you do it for, and what's your why?
Man, I would say, man, my why is definitely my family first and foremost. Family and God. If it weren't for my dad, I would never play football. Like my dad grew up. Well, my dad was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan as I grew up, and we always held Super Bowl parties at the house. That's back when they was going to Super Bowl every other year almost. So, I grew up watching the game a lot. Became a big Troy Polamalu fan and a Hines Ward fan. Even Antonio Brown. Like I watched all those guys back when they was playing together. And he ended up putting me into football at a young age. And my dad never pushed me, to be the best guy back then. He just wanted me to have fun playing. So I'm from a small country town. It's not very competitive like it is in like places like Florida. Like where I'm from, North Carolina, you play to have fun. So I feel like I got the game the right way. I learned how to love the game, and I learned how to just respect the game and understand you want to be good at it. You got to put time into it. So man, it's definitely my wives, my family, my mom and dad. Giving me everything they could to help me play this game at a high level. And if it weren't for them, and I would never had a chance to go on college business and understand what school best fits for me. But yeah, they're definitely my why. And just waking up every day, the grind that takes to, be the best. Like I really embrace that. Growing up, I'm from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Shout out to 252, man. But not a lot of guys make it out of there. We've had Todd Gurley make it, Tyquan Lewis, and a couple more people, but it's very few. So right now I'll be the next one and the opportunity to make it out. And I gotta say, man, like I saw a lot of guys fall short, but I kept my focus. Even when there was times where nobody was training. I trained with a guy named Stephon Virgil. He played. He showed me the DB position. Actually, he played at Virginia Tech a couple years ago. And as he came back home, he taught me how to play DB. So I give a lot of credit to him as well, man. He took time with me almost every day after school, just teach me how to play DB. And I was a freshman in high school. I played quarterback. A year later, I got my first offer at corner. So he took a year of time just showing me how to play the position, and that's how much time I put into it. I wanted to be invested in myself. It wasn't just him just saying, look, you're going to do this. No, I was like willing to learn, going from quarterback two DB, I was upset at first because I liked the ball in my hand, but now I got to find a different way to find the ball in my hand. So, it was different for me, but I embraced it. And ever since then, man, my work ethic has been to just master the DB position and just master taking the time that it takes to be great at this game, and learning different levels as I go. And it's been paying off, man. Every day I wake up and just know I got to grind to be the most successful football player I want to be.
Oh man, listen, we appreciate you, bro. We appreciate you coming on the show, taking time out of your busy schedule, training, getting ready for pro days and everything else, and the 2024 NFL draft. Guys, listen, that is North Carolina State defensive back, cornerback, hard-hitting cornerback, Shyheim Battle. Shyheim, appreciate you, brother.
Hey man, appreciate y'all, man. Thank you.
For sure. This next segment is brought to us by our sponsor, BetterHelp. Sometimes we all need the opportunity to get something off our chest, big or small. Certain things can really start to get to you. It's important to let that out, especially to someone who's unbiased on your life. So today I want to say how I really feel about something. You might even be thinking about the same thing later this week. Guys, it is NFL draft season and it's in full swing now. Next week is the NFL Scouting Combine, and we can't wait to be able to touch down, see these guys in person, run, jump, test, hit the field, and do all the things that they need to do to prove that they are the best in the business. Guys, therapy can be different for everyone. Most of us have bigger needs and bigger problems than our favorite sports team. And it's important to get those things off your chest every once in a while. So if you think about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. Visit BetterHelp.com/lockedon to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedon. Thank y'all for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day. Start for me and our everydayers, man. And Keith, having Shyheim Battle on the pod, man. Shout out to Shyheim once again for taking time out of his training schedule to come and talk some ball and personal life and everything else, playlist and everything else with us, man. What's some of the takeaways you had after meeting and talking to him, Keith?
Yeah, mentality, right? And people always, there's always the factor that there's not a stat for this, there's not an analytic for this, right? Analytics for mentality, right? And that's what stands out for me with Shyheim Battle, man. I think he's a guy that's just going to be proven tough, right? And he's going to last in the NFL because of his mentality. And I think that's why it's always important to, talk to these guys. We have these interviews, right? But then we also share them with our community, with the everydayers, because you're able to see it. Hey, if a guy, depending what round he goes in, and this guy lasts, right? And he outlasts a guy that went ahead of him. And usually it's because mentality, it's professionalism, it's love of the game, right? And that's what I got from Shyheim Battle, is that this guy has the mentality. He has a love for playing the game of football, and he also wants to get better. You can tell that just being drafted to the NFL is not the end all be all for him. It's being successful in the NFL, and this continues to develop his craft.
No, Keith, I'll piggyback off of that and just talking about, man, it's just sometimes you meet guys that's just so easy to root for. And for me, that's how I walked away from that. That was my takeaway. I'm like, this young man, talking about his dad and how his dad taught him the game the right way, right? Because Keith, you worked in recruiting. You came across some fathers who were like LeVar Ballish, where it's like, hey, man, I've pushed my kid here. I got him here. And they're the energy in the room. Whereas like it's more so about the dad than the kid, than the player himself. Right. Where in this situation, he said, my dad didn't push me to be great at a young age. He just told me to love the game and have fun. And those are the type of guys that typically last in the league, because it's not just about the paycheck. It's about, man, I actually love what I do, right? What's the phrase? I mean, we do it like we're draft analysts, we're scouts. Our job doesn't feel like a job when we wake up in the morning, because we love our profession, right? So I think that's what I get from. That's my biggest takeaway with Shyheim, is that he just seems like a young man that a defensive coordinator and a cornerbacks coach is going to love. Because he's going to come in there, bring the right energy, but also bring the right, like you said, mentality of, man, I'm here because I want to be here. The pay is one thing, but I actually love the game. And he seems like a young man that's going to work his butt off to be as great as he could possibly be.
Yeah, I agree. DP, talking about loving the game, man. I'll tell you what we love, man. We love the draft process, man. Listen, that wraps up another episode of the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast. And listen, man, we bring these prospects to you guys, right? We say we want to sit down, we're going to interview these guys so y'all can get to know them personally, right? Like, hey, do I want this type of guy in my locker room for my NFL team? And it may help your overall draft grade, right? We're talking about the success of a prospect one way or the other, man. I could tell you one thing, man. I know that Shyheim Battle is going to be successful in football, but also in life also, man. Just getting that perspective from. But listen, man, we wrap this thing up. Listen, I am Keith Sanchez. You can find me on X at The Talent Code. That right there, that is my co-host, Damian Parson, man. You can find him on X at DP_NFL. And like we always like to say, may y'all come talk to us because we like to talk back.
Guys, thank you so much for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day. Shout out for being our everydayers. All right. Go subscribe and follow for free on YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts, to get the latest episode as soon as it is available. Have a great, safe, and happy weekend. Come and join the conversation again tomorrow on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.